I had an exciting company meeting last week for my day job, and boy was I enthused to be in a room full of people who were so enthusiastic about health and fitness and supplements. And it only took 6 hours. They originally promised us that it would be 4, but it was 6. During this meeting, we discussed company issues and what was at the forefront of the concerns, of the challenges for the company moving forward. It's the most fascinating thing when you compile a conference room full of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, some in their 50s, but predominantly 20s to 30s, including the district manager who is everybody's boss in that room. You know, this is a guy that oversees hundreds of stores. He's been working with the company for some time now. And he's sitting in front of all of us and he's trying to be relatable, which is hilarious, by the way. I don't give a fuck about this guy. I don't give two shits about this guy. The sort of tone that he was talking to us with was kind of like he was President Obama talking to troops in Afghanistan. Like, you could pretty much assume that there is a huge percentage of soldiers who are Obama lovers. They see Obama, they're patriots. It's not really a left or a right thing, but it's comforting overseas to see the commander-in-chief. I don't think that's happened with Trump yet. I don't think he's gone overseas yet. But the tone that Obama would speak if he was overseas, he tried to relate to us. He tried to be like, you know, I'm just like you guys. You know, I want to know what your concerns are. I want to listen to you guys. So this guy's like basically what he might as well have done, he might as well just have taken the chair, turned it backwards, and sort of sat with his arms on the chair, you know, like put his baseball cap back. I'm just like you guys. I'm just a normal district manager. There's a company initiative right now where we're trying to sell $40 memberships to customers. We had a $15 membership that we abandoned last year. It was a discount card. This particular card right now is a points card. It has several benefits that we offer to you. It is a very complicated pitch that we have to deliver to you to convince you to get it, but that's besides the point. So while he's discussing this company initiative of the cards, he goes, let me be honest with you guys, okay? I'm sick of talking about the access card. I'm sick of it. And he looks around as if he was expecting just looks of relief. Like, wow, you're the everyman. You get it. I couldn't give two shits. I mean, maybe there were people in the room who were inspired by that and maybe felt a little comfortable. Shortly after that, there was the question of, but what are your concerns? What would you like? Let's talk frankly here amongst all 70 of us. Most of the room, I don't even know who any of these people are. I know some people from my district, you know, other store managers that I know, and, you know, people that I've known for several years, but I don't really communicate with those people like that. Much less the people from other regions who I don't even fucking know. And I'll mention something about that in a minute that was pretty interesting and very cringeworthy that they had us do. But he asked people to voice their concerns, and there were a couple people that were saying, well, look, you know, this is a little challenging. It's a little challenging because we have to compete with the internet. And finally somebody said the word. Somebody finally said internet. It took everybody like maybe 15 minutes to point out the obvious reason why we're being eaten alive and why we're forced to charge people $40 for memberships. So the guy was saying, oh, you know, it's kind of hard to get somebody to buy this and buy that. And the district guy was like, well, you know, if you tried to sell it to him like this and that. And the guy was like, and you think he's going to buy it? And the district manager guy was just like, he should. They should. And the guy was like, you think so? He said, they should. They should. When he kept saying should, it was like he was planting his foot down. You know, I don't want to bore you with the details of what the guy was mentioning about, you know, particular products that we would like to stack. with others, and, you know, it makes for a bigger sale. And the guy was saying, well, you know, the company's sort of selling it like it's a complimentary thing, but it's really hard to connect those two products and to convey to the customer that they should be taking it together. And so when the guy voiced his concern about that, the district manager, when he kept saying should, it was almost like this blind belief in corporate America. This guy's been brainwashed enough to the point where he is willing to speak to another grown man and to use a word like should as a hammer, you know? He wants to nail home the idea that come hell or high water, you better make that sale because corporate needs me to do it. They should. It was pretty weird. It was kind of odd to watch, and I don't know if anybody in the room sort of got the vibe that I got. But, you know, at this meeting, it was pretty obvious. I mean, we're dealing, you know, the reason why I brought up earlier, you know, people in their 20s and in their 30s, we live on our phones. We live on our phones, and yet we are discussing a lot of interactions at the store, transactions being down. And what I didn't want to mention and what no one else mentioned was the company sort of markets like it's 1992. You know, they don't really put forth a lot of effort on social media. I remember there was a big promotion last year. It was something that was leading up like maybe 2 weeks in advance. And, you know, we were having conference calls and talking about, okay, on this day when we set up the promotions and we do this and we do that. I took a look at the company's Facebook and their Instagram. Their very first post about this promotion was the morning of. The morning of. We were ramping up this promotion for probably 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, now they just think that they're just going to roll out their huge fucking dick and just the morning of, and people are just supposed to react to that. And now the time is ticking because that particular promotion was probably for a weekend, you know, like maybe 3 or 4 days where everything in the store was buy one, get one half off. And then what happens is after the numbers come in after that weekend when we have that promotion and transactions are down because people weren't informed that we had the fucking promotion, people bitch at us. They bitch at the grunts in the stores and say, well, why couldn't you guys, you know, figure this thing out? I'm gonna tell you guys something. When you deal with retail, the one of the many challenges is education. One of the many challenges is me educating you when you come into that door, and I have to execute a small sort of presentation of the benefit of these certain products while not intimidating you, but still informing you, not going over your head to the point where you're going to say, oh, I'm going to go check out more information online and read reviews, you know, because if you throw people too many details, you go over their head and then they feel like, you know, they're taking crystal meth or something. So they feel like they have to look into it. Those are the challenges. And if we have big promotions, other than educating you with the products, there's also now I got to tell you about the promotion. So people aren't likely to buy things when you just fucking blast them with a bunch of information when they get to the store. They're much more likely to come in beforehand, seeing things online and saying, okay, I saw that promotion. Let's see what happens when I get down to the store. And that's how it has to be executed. So what nobody wanted to bring up, and I just don't give enough of a shit to bring up the fact that the company markets like shit. The greatest part about this meeting, and I gotta say, I've never been to a meeting of this size. Normally, these meetings that we have are amongst the people in my region, which is about, maybe 25 people or so. This one had, like I said, about 60 or 70 people. So with this new company initiative with the cards, they had us all watch this instructional video, which was... It was so horrible, dude. It was they play these instructional videos, and it's like you coming into a store and just flailing your arms around and just being overly energetic and just doing too much. Like, hey, I want a protein. Like, just imagine me just I just keep raising my arms for no reason. Like, hey, I want a protein. Would you happen to have something here at this establishment? And then I'm supposed to go like, oh, yeah, you're in luck. The proteins are right over here. Hey, by the way, have you heard of our new access program? Oh, let me show you the benefits. And the customer in the video is so enthusiastic. Like, customers are never that receptive when you're giving them news. Even if it's great news, even if it's a great deal, people just sort of sit back and they're like, But the customer in the instructional video was just like, oh my God, that's great. Sign me up right now. And then they shook hands at the end. What they decided to do, the district manager and the regional managers, they decided after they showed us this video that they were going to pair us all up. All 60 or 70 of us, they were going to pair us up with each other. Now, you couldn't know the person that you were being paired up with because they paired you up with somebody from another region. I was paired up with some white dude who's a store manager in some fucking Bubba fuck town in New York. I have no fucking clue. You know, very older man, I think in his 50s. You know, a genuine moment, at least. Him and I, we discussed, how long he's been working with the company. Like, this was a guy who, he's got a family. He's in his 50s. He was doing real estate. He did retail years ago, but now he's coming back to it because the real estate didn't work out. So he's trying to support his family on this salary, and it's tough, man. It's really tough. All those stupid fucking ideas that people always push on you, which are realities of the world, of course, the benefits that white people have in this fucking world and the privilege that they have. But people act like it's just every person out there. This was like a 50-something-year-old white guy who seemed, he seemed educated. He seemed intelligent. While he may have had all the benefits in this world, he's fucking struggling, man. And it's a realistic thing out here, and you can't paint everybody with such a broad brush. So they had us team up, and they gave us cards, so I didn't know I was being teamed up with him. My regional manager gave me a card that said associate number 4. So then that means I was paired up with the person who said whose card said customer number 4. So I was going to be the associate, convincing him to get this access card for $40, and he was going to be the customer. So we were number 4 online, which was great because at least we didn't, we weren't number 1. And it was uncomfortable because the supervisors, the higher ups, the regionals and the directors, they literally made it American Idol. They were sitting there and they were taking notes. And, I went up there and I did my goofy little pitch. I did it with the guy. And afterwards, they critiqued everyone. They seriously critiqued you on your delivery of the card, and they pointed out things like, I kind of felt that you were a little nervous. I kind of felt like you weren't delivering. You were stuttering. Your words were getting. Well, no shit. They're fucking making a presentation in front of 70 people. When I'm at a store, it's just me and the customer. So guess what, guy? No matter how knowledgeable, this is me at the meeting now. I'm having flashbacks. No matter how knowledgeable someone is, you've completely changed the whole dynamic of the situation when you put someone on stage. It's such an unnatural thing. It's like these people have no perspective on human dynamics, on human psychology. People behave differently when they're being watched. I think Penn Jillette, famous magician, mentioned that when he was on The Apprentice on Donald Trump's show, he noticed that he was very aware of what he was eating on camera and what he was doing during the first few days of the show. It's only till a few days when the human mind just sort of goes, fuck it. This is now the environment. I'm being filmed now. This is my reality, and this is just what it is. And Penn was, you know, he was correlating everything to his eating, and he was saying I was just reaching for everything after 4 or 5 days. I did not care. I wasn't conscious about it or anything. So if we're getting one go at this whole thing about, you know, this whole goofy card situation in front of 60 or 70 people, and they're seriously making critiques. They were like, team number 4, you know, I kind of felt like you guys. It was just so ridiculous. It's like, this isn't real. This isn't real. Needless to say, me and the guy, we didn't win anything. You know, some other group won. I think they won a gift card or something. But I cannot believe that still in 2017, we're having conversations about why aren't we doing as good as last year, and it's obvious. Supplements are very, very, very expensive, and I believe that I work for a company that has good intentions, but they behave in a way that kind of makes it seem like they hate their customer. Like, they don't value their customer, and they're kind of condescending towards the customer. They change prices literally every few weeks. I mean, I can't tell you how many people come in, and it's frustrating for them and for me, for somebody to come in for a certain product and they literally say things like, 5 days ago, this was $10 less. Why is it more? People want consistency, you know? They're coming in for their health, but what they need more than anything is consistency. They need to know, they need to feel comfortable when they go into an environment and they know that for the better part of the year, this particular product is going to be this price. If you continue to complicate things, then we're all going to be out of a job in about 3 or 4 years because the internet's just going to swallow us up. But what's fucking frustrating is to sit in a room with a bunch of 20 to 30-year-olds and they can't fucking understand why things are becoming so difficult. Gee, let's take one guess. How the fuck are we communicating right now?